How can you make vegetables less boring? Is the question I will be answering on today's episode of Ask Nutritionist Deepa. Well, my short answer to that question is just add flavor. That's it. But hang in there because I'm going to show you what kind of flavor to add or how to add flavor, what kind of different, I'm going to show you some interesting looking vegetables and some give you some tips on adding flavor and mixing seasonings, so on and so forth. So everybody knows that we need to eat vegetables, right? But many times we are hesitant to eat them because we have tried it when you were 2 years old, and that time the broccoli was all mushy and the carrots were all pale, and you didn't like it, and those vegetables never grew on you. But things have changed, right? Um, when vegetables are done correctly, they are full of flavors. And many time what happens is if your taste buds are used to eating vegetables with fat, like with butter sauce or gravy, or with heavy dressings on the salad like ranch or french dressing or any kind of creamy dressing, or if you're used to eating zucchini as zucchini fritters and onion as onion rings, then you are really not getting the flavor of the vegetable. You are just really getting the salt, fat, and sugar that is being used to prep those vegetables. So we are kind of going to go away from that and really focus on what are some simple ways of adding flavor to these vegetables. So first of all, let me show you the vegetable little bowl I put together. Look at that. Looks like this bowl was sent to me from Mars or something. But no, I just got everything from the local grocery store. So let me go one by one. Let me start with this exciting looking vegetable. It is a gourd, and believe it or not, it's called a snake gourd. Okay, because it is like snake, and sometimes you have it even longer, like at least 3 feet long. So this is a gourd, and this is going to cook very similar to zucchini, right, or any other gourd. It's very tender, and there are seeds inside. There's like a white pillow looking layer inside, cotton looking layer inside. Don't worry about it, it's all good. Please eat the skin and the seeds and the skin of the vegetable, because that's where all those good fibers are. So this is a snake gourd. I'm going to talk about what are some of the best cooking methods to cook these vegetables, and then of course add flavor. So we have snake gourd, very low in calorie, easy to digest, and very fun to look at. And this is good old turnip. I always feel that turnip is nobody takes enough pays enough love to turnip. I absolutely love it. It's so refreshing. It's less intense than radish. It has a nice sweet flavor, and it stays in your refrigerator forever. So turnip is again beautiful. You can grate it and make it like a slaw. How to season turnip or how to season any slaw is something I'm going to be talking about later. Everybody, I hope, knows eggplant, right? Perfect for baking, roasting. Again, please try to eat it with the skin on. Sometimes the skin is bitter, but it's very rare that it's bitter. If the eggplant is nice and firm, then it should not be bitter. Just make sure you cook it correctly. And again, I'm going to show you the best way to um, season your eggplant. Then this funny looking thing is a daikon. All right. Uh, it's from the radish family. It has long greens on top, very high in iron. Okay, I bought two of these daikons, and it had a lot of greens, which I just stir fried. So I'm left with this daikon, and very again is used in Japanese cuisine, Indian cuisine a lot. No, again, little sharp because it's from horseradish family, but not like horseradish or that wasabi where you feel as if your head is going to blow. But it's still little sharp, but again, very, very flavorful, very crunchy. And I'm going to again show you what to do with this uh, root vegetables like daikon and turnip. The last but not the least, I decided to get different vegetables today because everybody knows broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage. These are, I just happen to have these ones from the store and they look also fresh. This is okra. All right. Again, very interesting vegetable to try. As many people you may know that the compound in okra is actually used in cholesterol lowering medication. So if you don't want to take medication, you better start looking at food as medicine and start enjoying all these different vegetables. Uh, you know, turnip and radishes. These are very powerful vegetables and they have a lot of anti-cancerous benefits. Like I said, snake gourd is similar to zucchini, very low in calories, has nice crunch, all the good stuff. So these are the vegetables I have. I just thought before I get into how to flavor them, I will just go through each one of them and just to uh, nudge you guys to look for some new vegetables. Maybe you are tired of just eating broccoli and cauliflower. So look around and see if you can buy any of these beautiful but bit crazy looking vegetables. So I'm going to put this away and come back to it later. Okay, so um, first of all, if you're new to seasonings, then my recommendation would be don't buy 50 different herbs and spices if you don't know what to mix or if you're feeling overwhelmed. I just did a quick grocery tour to a couple different stores, and there are pretty good pre-made seasonings available. So start it with very simple, already prepared or already made seasoning mixes. Okay, for example, Trader Joe's has this 21 seasoning salute, and it's been around for long period of time. So, and it is a perfect blend of like 10 different herbs, and it goes really well if you're looking for like a Mexican flavor for fajitas. So this seasoning actually will go really well with my snake gourd, I think, because it's in the zucchini family. The seasoning also goes really well with zucchini type of vegetable. So if I were to use a seasoning for zucchini or any kind of gourd, try with 21 seasoning salute. By the way, I'm going to tell you the secrets of how to build a layer of flavoring. But let me first get through the seasoning mixes. Then Walmart has this poultry seasoning, all right, and it has again a blend of 4 or 5 really nice herbs, and when they are blended correctly, turns out makes this really very flavorful poultry seasoning, and this is going to go really well with eggplant when it is cooked properly. So like I'm saying, don't get individual herbs and spices if you don't want to get overwhelmed, but go and get these pre-mixed blends. Curry powder, you can never go wrong with curry powder, right? Everybody these days knows about turmeric and curry powder and how therapeutic it is. Spices are actually, I did do a podcast episode with Dr. Agarwal talking about how to use herbs and spices as medicine and how powerful they are in terms of reducing inflammation. So if for nothing else, at least start looking at these herbs and spices as an anti-inflammatory agent. But anyway, the other interesting seasoning is which gives these vegetables really that exotic, that umami flavor, is this multi-purpose mushroom powder. Okay, and it has all different kinds of mushrooms and black pepper and crushed red pepper and a little bit of dried thyme, and it goes really well. So this mushroom powder is from Trader Joe's and will go really well with any of these vegetables. Really, it will go well with even okra. Then Trader Joe's had this vegan chickenless seasoning salt. Now, mind you, some of these seasonings do have salt, but if you have cut down or have reduced the processed food, the takeouts and all the junk in your diet, then a little bit of salt from sea salt from your homemade food is okay. So again, vegan chickenless seasoning salt. It's going to add a little bit of that meaty, chickeny flavor to it. So if you're making soup using vegetables, I would recommend that you use this type of pre-made seasoning. Now this one is an interesting one. It's a um, barbecue rub, and interestingly, it has coffee and garlic. Okay, and it is what I noticed about it is that the garlic, the paprika, the coffee with touch of vinegar, like balsamic vinegar, really brings this seasoning together. And remember, I said that I'm going to make a slaw with this good looking turnip. That's what I think I'm going to use. What I would recommend using is this seasoning rub with coffee, garlic, and just a dash of vinegar. So since we are talking about vinegar, let me bring those guys out. So I have this balsamic vinegar. So really the secret to making your vegetables jazzy or dressing them up or making them a little sexy is that you start by blending. So just take a seasoning of your choice, all right? Whisk in a vinegar, some sort of a liquid of your choice. So here I have balsamic vinegar, or you can mix in with a vegetable broth or lemon juice. Let's see what I have here. I have some sherry vinegar, right? So any kind of vinegar, or like I said, lemon juice or even apple cider vinegar and vegetable broth, whisk everything together. So now you have spice, you have your citrus, which is your vinegar or your vegetable broth, and you may want to add just a dash of real maple syrup or this honey from my friend Jen's dad's farm, Mr. Allen's farm here, and he gave me a couple bottles of honey, and this particular one actually I added some rose petals in it. But anyway, so just a dash of honey. So now just imagine you have savory or blend of different kind of seasoning and spices. You have vinegar, which is little citrus, or vegetable broth with dash of lemon juice, and you have little bit of sweetness from the honey or maple syrup. You're going to whisk everything together, and you're going to toss your vegetables in them, uh, obviously chopped vegetables in them, and then roast it. Okay, so the first cooking technique I'm going to talk about is roasting. By the way, you can use frozen vegetables and roast them. Just increase the temperature to 450 degrees for frozen and 425 for the fresh vegetables. So once you chop your vegetables and make this vinegar, sweet, savory, salty dressing, then just toss these vegetables in that dressing and then roast them. Because what's going to happen is the vinegar and little bit of honey or maple syrup is going to help get these spices or get the spices get stuck on your vegetable. So when you have that piece of vegetable, when you chew on it, it's you are going to get all the flavor from this dressing. So that's the trick, is to roasting your vegetables with the seasoning, dash of honey, maple if you want, and some vinegar. So that's about roasting. Now let's say you are going to steam your vegetables. May I please request that just please steam the vegetables where there is still a little bit of crunchy and not like super soft. And please don't kill them, because the longer we cook the vegetables, the more nutritional loss it has. So be careful. Um, so don't overcook them. And you can make the similar dressing that you would do if you are roasting the vegetables, but instead of tossing the vegetables in there before, you are first going to steam it, and as soon as it is steamed and while they are hot, dump it in the dressing and then toss it. Okay, that way the vegetables, while they are hot, their cell walls are going to be open and they're going to absorb some of this flavor. That's it. That's really how you add flavor to your vegetables, and that's how you make your vegetables less boring. But let me go through the rest of the vegetable. So with, let's say I have, what is it called? Okra here. I'm going to chop it, again, toss it with probably with paprika and some of the poultry seasoning, or even 21 seasoning salute, dash of lemon juice, vegetable broth, and I'm going to roast it at 425 because this is fresh, but I have used frozen okra at 450 and I'm going to roast it. Similarly, you can also steam the okra and mix in with your dressing. Eggplant. I'm going to have some fun with eggplant actually. I'm going to bake it, and once it is baked, and I'm going to bake it where the skin is not burnt. So it's soft, but the skin, I'm not going to roast it. I'm going to bake it. And so it will be soft and the skin is still intact and soft. And once it is done, I'm going to mash it, okay, with the skin on, or run it through my little blender here. And then probably mix in little bit of tahini, or you can mix in a little bit of lemon juice, and if you have some sesame seeds, you can grind in with that, and then just add a dash of curry powder in there. So just imagine baba ganoush, or the mushed up eggplant with with a touch of curry and lemon juice, right? So it's going to be perfect. And if you feel that it's little bitter, then feel free to add a dash of honey. So this eggplant is going to get baked with and then mushed up, mashed with, and then I'm going to add some little bit of tahini, or even if you don't add tahini, just add some curry powder and maybe a dash of honey, and of course a little bit of salt, and off you go. That's how I'm going to try working on the eggplant this evening. How the radish or daikon. So daikon is going to be interesting. I'm not going to cook this daikon, but daikon and turnip, I'm going to grate them because they are so crunchy, they are so fresh. Why unnecessary cook them? So I'm going to just grate them, and again make a dressing for this slaw with some vinegar or even mustard. Mustard will go really well with this daikon because they're kind of from the same family. So a little bit of mustard, honey, and any of the herbs and spice, or just balsamic vinegar and 21 seasoning salute. Just pour it once the daikon is and turnip is all grated. Okay, so I'm going to grate it and turn it into a slaw. Okay, so once you have this is done, what about the topping, right? You can continue to build more flavor on these vegetables. So just for fun and more flavor and of course more nutrition, I usually end up adding pumpkin seeds on top of my roasted or cooked vegetables or steamed vegetables. And sometime some dry fruit. In this case, I have some organic dried cranberries. Many times I will add extra sesame seeds because has good kind of fat and they're good for us. Seeds are good for us, and they add another interesting layer of flavor. And by the way, this one seasoning you don't want to ignore but at the same time, I don't want to use it when I'm cooking my vegetable, because the heat is going to kill the vitamins in it, is called as nutritional yeast. So nutritional yeast is going to be like a flavor bomb here. Okay, you are just going to add it, sprinkle it on top, and it has really nice umami flavor. If you want to skip everything that I just said, in terms of making a seasoning sauce, and just stick to one seasoning to get going, then buy some nutritional yeast and start using that on your vegetables. So that's how we are going to make our vegetables all jazzed up and all dressed up. It's as simple as that. Like I said, please, please, please don't let the lack of flavor or vegetables being boring as a come as an obstacle to not eating vegetables. Because what can I say? I can sit here until cows come home and talk about how beneficial these vegetables are, full of antioxidants and polyphenols and so many other micronutrients and fiber and water and so on and so forth, and so beneficial for us, for our immune system, and to for your cholesterol, weight loss, cravings, everything. So please pick up on one or two ideas from today's episode, and please keep sending those questions to me. I really enjoy educating. I really enjoy talking to answering them here. So that's pretty much it. And oh, by the way, don't forget to download How to Roast Without Oil handout, which will be in our newsletter and the body of the podcast, the notes of the podcast. So make sure you download that handout and start using it. Really, I have shown you where to, what kind of dressing, what kind of seasoning to get, where to get, what kind of vegetables to look for. And again, your vegetables don't need to be these strange looking vegetables. Go with whichever vegetable you want, but at the same time, try to expand your horizon choices and look for these fun looking vegetables. So that's all for today. Thank you for joining, and I appreciate your comments. I appreciate your likes. I appreciate when you share things with your friends and family. Thanks again, and I will see you next week.